Most players believe that building a city is simply placing buildings on an empty map to watch numbers increase. But that is a limited view that hides a much more fascinating truth. There are titles where the act of building is barely a pretext, because their mechanics possess such disruptive originality that they manage to transcend the construction genre to become unique experiences that defy any traditional definition. We are venturing into terrain where management transforms into extreme survival, organic puzzles, or biological simulations that force you to completely rethink what it truly means to create a world. We are about to unravel the secrets behind those architectures that made us question our leadership ability. Those masterpieces that broke the mold to show us that incredible worlds can be created through mechanics that go far beyond raising walls or laying roads. This journey is not just a review of video games. It is an expedition into ingenuity applied to interactive design where every choice tells a story of strategy and ambition. As we dive together into this in-depth analysis, I invite you to become part of our strategist community at City Gamer by leaving your support with a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel. A small action that will allow us to continue expanding this ecosystem of technical knowledge and passion for video games that we are building with such rigor for you. What you're about to discover in the next few minutes will radically change the way you look at every foundation and every system in your future playthroughs. Get ready, because once you cross the threshold of the conventional, the builder genre will never again seem like a simple administrative task, but rather a window into worlds where mechanical innovation is the only law keeping balance on the edge of the abyss. Tenth place goes to Utopia, a foundational work released in 1981 that, far from being just a relic of the past, is the starting point where the genre found its true reason for being. At a time when video games were mostly arcade and immediate action experiences, this title dared to propose something radically different: responsibility over a territory. It didn't just offer a simple canvas for placing structures. It was the pioneer in intertwining macroeconomic management with a layer of demographic administration that demanded constant strategic attention, forcing the player to oversee the well-being of their inhabitants on a grid that, for the first time, felt alive. What makes Utopia such a fascinating link in this chronology is the way it managed to merge mechanics that we take for granted today, but which, in its time, were a technical revelation. The genius of its design lay in a mix of systems where the player had to balance budgets, food production, and citizen satisfaction levels, all while navigating crises that threatened the stability of the settlement. The game introduced a necessary friction where every political choice had a direct consequence on the population's well-being. If you neglected health or the economy, failure was inevitable. It was the first time we understood that success depended not only on building, but on maintaining a precarious balance between the needs of the state and the reality of the citizens. This bold combination of economic management and social responsibility transformed the act of playing into an exercise in foresight and analysis. By forcing the user to consider the human factor as a critical resource, Utopia not only laid the foundations for the strategic depth that would define the great exponents of subsequent decades, but also demonstrated that a game could be much more than a sequence of commands or a test of reflexes. It taught us that the architecture of a city is, at its core, the architecture of its social systems, thus inaugurating an era where planning, critical decision-making, and intelligent management define the destiny of an entire civilization, making it the foundation upon which all modern builders, consciously or not, have built their virtual empires. Ninth place goes to Cliff Empire, a title that completely redefined space management through a premise of technical desperation. In a future where the Earth's surface is a toxic, uninhabitable wasteland, humanity has been displaced to small, elevated platforms that defy gravity. This radical spatial limitation aggressively changes the rules of the game. Here you cannot expand horizontally without restraint, but rather you must learn to optimize every square meter with almost surgical precision. The main mechanic is not simply building, but orchestrating an interconnected logistics network where each platform has a specialized function, creating an internal trade system that is vital for the survival of the whole. The genius of Cliff Empire lies in how it elevates management complexity through interdependence. It is not enough to generate energy or produce food on a single floating island. You must balance the needs of an entire network while weather conditions and resource scarcity pressure your responsiveness. The game forces you to plan aerial trade routes and manage the flow of workers between platforms, turning every expansion into a logistics puzzle where a single mistake in network design can collapse your aerial civilization's economy. It is a constant challenge that punishes waste and rewards efficiency, forcing you to think in terms of structural efficiency and traffic flows in an environment where emptiness is your greatest enemy. This proposal moves us away from traditional expansive expansion to immerse us in an environment where technical ingenuity is the only tool for salvation. By eliminating the possibility of growing infinitely sideways, the title forces us to look up, down, and at the connections between elements, elevating management to a level of abstraction and rigor that few games have managed to replicate. Cliff Empire not only builds a city, it builds a fragile and fascinating survival system that, despite its small dimensions, feels immensely more complex and rewarding than any conventional metropolis of classic titles. Eighth place goes to The Wandering Village, a work that takes the concept of mobility to an unprecedented biological level. Here, the setting is not an inert plain or predetermined terrain, but the back of an onbu, a colossal creature that roams a world devastated by toxic spores. This premise introduces a completely unprecedented symbiotic management mechanic. Your city is not a static entity, but a parasite or an ally, depending on how you choose to interact with the living being that carries you. The survival of your civilization depends directly on the health of your host, creating a constant ethical and technical dilemma. Will you exploit the creature's resources to accelerate your growth, even if it weakens its resistance? Or will you learn to coexist in a sustainable balance that ensures the future of both? What is fascinating about this title is how it intertwines resource management with ecology and environmental responsibility. The onbu is not just your platform. It is an organism that feels, gets tired, gets sick, and responds to the stimuli of your own construction. You must monitor its vital signs, manage its wounds, and guide its path while managing your settlement, turning urban planning into an act of biological care. If you decide to ignore the giant's needs, your city will eventually collapse when the creature falls or changes course, forcing you to abandon the land conqueror mindset and adopt the role of an attentive guardian who understands that infrastructure and nature are, in this case, one and the same entity. This mechanical blend is what positions it as one of the most original builders. The city and the map are alive. Unlike other games where the environment is a passive backdrop, here the environment is the main player. Every construction decision must be filtered through the question of how it will affect your host, forcing you to adapt your expansion strategies to the biological cycles and climates the beast travels through. The Wandering Village transforms city management into an odyssey of empathy and technique, reminding us that in the design of virtual worlds, the most impactful innovation arises when we stop treating the environment as a resource to extract and start treating it as an indispensable travel companion. Seventh place goes to Terra Nil, an experience that subverts the very premise of the genre by presenting an inverted city builder. If for decades we have been taught that success consists of mass urbanization, resource exploitation, and unchecked industrial growth, this title presents itself as an exercise in strategic ecology where the ultimate goal is the complete restoration of the environment. Here, you don't build to colonize, you build to heal. You use advanced technology to purify soils, reintroduce plant species, and restore ecosystems that were ravaged by human negligence. It is a game that transmutes the anxiety of management into a deep sense of relief and purpose, forcing us to see nature not as a source of raw material, but as the ultimate goal of our technical intervention. The mechanical genius of terra nil lies in the dismantling process. Unlike any other exponent of the genre, where your buildings remain as monuments to your progress, here each structure has a limited life cycle. Once a region has been revitalized and biodiversity has begun to thrive, the game forces you to recycle all your infrastructure. You must remove towers, power plants, and roads, leaving behind a pristine landscape that seems to have forgotten your presence. This cleaning mechanism is, in essence, a logical challenge where efficiency is measured not by the number of inhabitants or production level, but by the ability to leave the world exactly as you found it, or even better, with no trace of industrial intervention. It is an artistic and technical proposal that forces us to radically change our approach to urban management. Water management, temperature regulation, and wildlife management demand a holistic understanding of the environment that few titles have managed to emulate. By forcing us to plan our retreat from the very moment we place a generator, the game teaches us that true progress lies not in what we are able to build, but in what we are able to restore. Terra Nil redefines what it means to be an architect of the environment, positioning itself as an ode to natural resilience and a masterclass on how technology, when well used, can serve as the necessary catalyst to restore the balance the planet so desperately needs.
Wind your keys and prepare for battle!
Sixth place goes to Ixion, a proposal that elevates the city builder concept to a spatial scale of extreme survival. Here, the game board is not a continent or an isolated platform, but the Tikkun, a massive space station that serves as humanity's last refuge. The originality of this title lies in merging urban management with a survival mechanic based on structural integrity and unstable energy. While trying to organize industrial and residential sectors, you must constantly deal with hull degradation, energy supply crises, and the political instability of a population living under the constant fear of being destroyed by the void of space. What sets Ixion apart from any other builder is the absolute fragility of your ecosystem. Unlike traditional cities that can afford minor logistical failures, here a management error or poor electrical grid planning can mean the explosive decompression of an entire sector. The game forces you to move through different star systems, where each new zone presents finite resources and dangers that demand a rapid reconfiguration of your station. You are not simply building a city to grow. You are maintaining a large-scale life support system that crumbles as you advance. This constant pressure turns administration into a race against time and physics, where every new building you place is a risky bet on the long-term survival of your crew. The technical complexity of this title is admirable, as it manages to convey the feeling of being the director of a machine you barely understand that is trying to kill you at every step. Station sector management, workforce balancing, and scientific exploration across the star map create an experience where decision-making carries undeniable dramatic weight. Ixion demonstrates that the genre can be a vehicle for administrative horror and, at the same time, a science fiction epic where urban architecture is the only shield between civilization and absolute nothingness. It is, without a doubt, one of the most intense and satisfying experiences for those seeking to have their management skills tested by forces far greater than any municipal budget. Fifth place goes to Townscaper, a work that defies every technical convention about what a management game should be. Here there are no budgets, no citizens to feed, no tech tree to unlock, no catastrophes to defend against. Its essence is pure and liberating. It is a digital toy based on a procedural algorithm so advanced that it seems to have a life of its own. The mechanic is deceptively simple. With a single click, the game interprets your intention and automatically erects towers, bridges, arches, and staircases over an infinite ocean. It is in essence a generative architecture tool that turns planning into a tactile, relaxing experience where aesthetics are the only goal. What positions Townscaper in this privileged place is the invisible brilliance of its engine. While you simply click, the game performs thousands of mathematical calculations to decide, in milliseconds, how the colored blocks connect, how windows open based on the shape of the structure, and how small details like ropes, flower pots, or moored boats appear in the squares. This algorithmic intelligence ensures that, no matter what you build, the result is always architecturally coherent, visually harmonious, and deeply satisfying. It is a design exercise where the friction between idea and execution has been reduced to zero, allowing anyone, regardless of prior experience, to create urban postcards that seem to come from a Mediterranean tale. This proposal reminds us that a city builder does not necessarily need pressure or conflict to be a brilliant piece of software. By stripping the genre of all its administrative burden, Townscaper allows us to explore the pure beauty of form, light, and composition. It is a reminder that at the heart of every city builder lies an innate fascination with creation and with seeing how elements assemble to form a whole with its own personality. By elevating construction to the level of an accessible, fluid form of artistic expression, this title has earned its place as one of the most original and cleanest experiments ever developed in the history of the genre.
Hold the line, we need to push past that sector!
Fourth place goes to Timberborn, a title that completely transformed our perception of fluid physics and vertical construction in the genre. In this post-apocalyptic world, humans are a thing of the past, and command has fallen to intelligent beavers, a shift in focus that is not just aesthetic. The central mechanic revolves around the absolute control of water, an element that here is not a passive resource, but a physical engine you must learn to tame. Dam construction, gate management, and manipulation of drought cycles demand hydraulic planning that feels genuinely tactical, turning the map into a constantly moving puzzle. What elevates this exponent above the average is its commitment to verticality. By allowing us to stack structures and build on uneven terrain with almost unlimited freedom, the game forces us to maximize every available square meter, creating cities that rise toward the sky in complex levels. This multi-level management, combined with the need to create artificial irrigation systems to maintain crops during droughts, gives the player astonishing technical responsibility. It is no longer just about expanding sideways, but about understanding how gravity and water flow affect your entire urban structure, forcing you to design hydraulic engineering systems that must be as resilient as they are functional. Timberborn teaches us that mechanical originality is born when coherent physical laws are integrated into resource management. Here, water is a force that can give life or bring ruin, and learning to control it through advanced engineering is the heart of the experience. By adding the complexity of mechanical energy management and storage logistics, the game moves away from traditional simulation to become a miniature engineering simulator. It is a masterwork of technical design that demonstrates that by endowing natural elements with predictable and powerful behavior, we make the task of building a city far more rewarding, complex, and visually spectacular.
What an incredible performance from both teams today!
To close this analysis block before reaching the top of our countdown, it is imperative to recognize the pillars that, while maintaining a more classical structure, define the language that everyone else has used to expand the genre's limits. SimCity, released in 1989, is the absolute turning point. It was the game that turned the concept of being an urban planner into a mass-market product, installing in the minds of millions of players the eternal cycle of budget management, infrastructure expansion, and citizen demand satisfaction. Without this title, the genre would not have reached the maturity needed to experiment with the disruptive proposals we have analyzed, for it established the basic grammar of what we understand as building a metropolis. Banished deserves a place of honor as the gold standard for demographic survival management. Unlike sprawling cities that expand uncontrollably, this title brought us back to the human scale, where the survival of each individual matters. By focusing on scarcity, finite demographics, and the harshness of the seasons, it taught us that the true tension of a builder does not always come from external enemies, but from the internal fragility of a community that depends entirely on your ability to foresee the next winter. Anno 1800 is, without a doubt, the pinnacle of complex large-scale logistics. Its genius lies in the interconnection of worlds. We are not managing a single map, but a complex commercial network of maritime routes connecting regions with different climates and needs. It is a masterpiece of macroeconomic micromanagement, where success depends not on what you do on a single island, but on how you are able to orchestrate global supply chains that intertwine in a practically unmatched logistical choreography. Finally, diplomacy is not an option, represents the violent rupture of usual peace. This city builder takes urban management and crashes it against the chaos of large-scale combat, where thousands of enemy units besiege your walls. It reminds us that a city's architecture must be designed not only for prosperity, but also for resistance. By integrating tower defense mechanics and tactical unit control into the heart of construction, it offers a vision where urban planning and military strategy are one entity, forcing us to defend every brick we have laid under enemy fire. Now that we have honored the titans who laid the foundations, get ready, because what follows redefines what a construction video game is capable of demanding from us. We are about to enter the realm of pure strategy, extreme morality, and the wildest innovation the genre has delivered. Are you ready to learn about the 3 titles that broke all the established rules? Third place goes to Dorfromantik, a proposal that completely abandons the anxiety of industrial growth to embrace a logic of peace and tactical puzzling. In this title, city building does not depend on complex menus or state budgets, but on the strategic placement of hexagonal tiles. This fundamental mechanic transforms landscape creation into an exercise in introspection and organic design, where each piece must connect harmoniously with its neighbors. Forests, villages, rivers, and crop fields intertwine through adjacency rules that require careful planning, making each game feel like an ever-expanding painting that you yourself are composing. What elevates it to this position is its ability to turn resource management into a purely aesthetic and relaxing experience, without sacrificing strategic depth. As you progress, the game presents subtle challenges, quests that ask you to connect a specific number of houses or extend a river to infinity. This structure of discrete objectives keeps your mind focused, but does so without the pressure of imminent defeat. Here, conflict does not exist, and that is precisely what makes it so original. It demonstrates that the genre can also be a refuge, a space where order and beauty are the only metrics of success, radically distancing itself from builders that demand relentless efficiency. This work is a reminder that urban architecture can be, above all, a visual delight. By eliminating stressful elements and focusing on the sensory satisfaction of watching a world take shape through your decisions, Dorfromantik has achieved something few games accomplish, making us feel like architects of a serene ecosystem. It is a technical lesson in how simplicity in mechanics can generate rewarding complexity, transforming the act of building into a form of active meditation. Undoubtedly, it is definitive proof that strategy does not always need fire, iron, or combat, but simply the sense of the right place for each piece that composes our world. Second place goes to Against the Storm, a work that has dynamited the foundations of the genre by injecting it with a roguelite structure that no one saw coming. Forget building a metropolis that lasts for centuries. Here, time is your enemy and impermanence is the only law. In this world, a devastating rain falls incessantly, forcing you to colonize temporary settlements with feverish urgency. The main mechanic is not infinite expansion, but radical adaptation to procedurally changing conditions in each playthrough. Every new settlement is a unique logistical puzzle, where resources, biomes, and your citizens' needs are a mystery you must decipher on the fly. The technical genius of this title lies in how it balances constant tension with persistent progression. While managing the loyalty of different factions, such as humans, beavers, or lizards, you must make moral and tactical decisions under the yoke of a queen who does not forgive inefficiency. This pressure forces you to abandon any trace of complacency, pushing you to specialize your settlements and sacrifice idealism for immediate survival. The game's cycle of building, collapsing, and restarting under new premises creates an incredibly addictive experience that rewards the ability to learn from mistakes and the skill to reinvent your urban strategy in minutes. Against the Storm is, in essence, the evolution of a city builder into the realm of pure strategy and constant challenge. By breaking the linearity of traditional growth and replacing it with a system of cyclical, demanding quests, it has made building feel, for the first time, like an epic struggle against the environment. It shows us that the genre can be as dynamic and replayable as the most demanding strategy title, elevating management to a level of technical mastery where improvisation is your best resource. It is a vibrant, stressful, and deeply rewarding experience that redefines what it means to prosper when the entire world, literally, is designed to stop you. First place, and the absolute monarch of this list, goes to Frostpunk. This title is not just a city builder. It is a sociological study of human survival in the most hostile conditions imaginable. Here, management does not revolve around industrial efficiency or urban aesthetics, but around the survival of the last spark of heat in a world buried by an apocalyptic winter. The central mechanic is not just placing buildings, but managing the hopelessness, law, and morality of a population that has lost almost everything. Every decision you make, from establishing grueling work shifts to deciding what to do with children in a resource-starved city, forces you to face a mirror where ethics collide head-on with pragmatic necessity. The brilliance of its design lies in how it integrates narrative tension into every technical system. The generator, the mechanical heart of your city, is not just a structure that provides heat. It is an hourglass marking your own doom if you fail to balance the demands of a terrified populace. The constant friction between social discontent and hope, represented by status bars that fluctuate with every decree you issue, turns the city into a living organism that judges you. You are not building to win. You are building to postpone the inevitable, and that emotional burden turns every click into a heavy responsibility. Here, architecture is the only barrier between civilization and absolute extinction, and the game reminds you, with fascinating cruelty, that in extreme cold, human laws are as malleable as the ice you are trying to melt. It is the pinnacle of the genre because, for the first time, it forced us to stop thinking like engineers and start thinking like leaders facing the purest dilemma of existence. Frostpunk not only lets you see your city from above, it forces you to descend into its streets, to listen to your citizens' protests, and to bear the weight of your decisions when the thermometer reaches impossible levels. Its ability to combine impeccable resource management with a script that morally tears you apart makes it an unparalleled experience. It is the definitive proof that a city builder can be much more than a technical simulation. It can be a narrative masterpiece that questions you, challenges you, and leaves its mark, demonstrating that, even in the apocalypse, what we build on paper is ultimately a reflection of our own humanity. At the end of the day, what we have explored is irrefutable proof that a city's foundations are just the beginning of a much deeper conversation about what it means to create, survive, and decide. These 10 titles have not only challenged the laws of design, but have changed our way of understanding the power of a choice, reminding us that in the world of video games, the most important architect is always the mind that dares to dream the impossible. This analysis does not end with the credit screen. because the real magic happens when you take control. So I want to know what resonated most with you. Which of these experiences forced you to question your own leadership decisions or left its mark on you with its bold mechanical proposal? Share your perspective in the comments, because your opinion is the engine that keeps our community of strategists alive. If this journey through the evolution and innovation of a genre has given you new ideas for your next gaming sessions, I invite you to join our project by giving a thumbs up and subscribing to the channel, activating notifications so you never miss the next analysis. We are preparing with the same rigor as always. Your support is essential for City Gamer to remain the home for those of us seeking more than mere entertainment. And if you truly want to take this passion to the next level, we open the doors for you to become a channel member. By joining, you will get access to all our videos before their public release for a truly accessible cost, an exclusive opportunity that not only puts you in the front row of our content, but also directly helps us continue raising the technical quality of every production we share. We are only scratching the surface of all that simulation and strategy have to offer us, and the next content to arrive on the channel will be an even bolder step in our commitment to dissecting the soul of video games. Stay tuned, keep building with vision, and see you very soon to continue exploring, analyzing, and conquering new digital worlds in the next City Gamer video.